For centuries, no army could conquer Rome. Then one summer night, the fire did. In the summer of AD 64, Rome stood at the height of its power. It was the capital of the greatest empire the world had ever seen. More than 1 million people filled its streets, making it one of the largest cities on earth. Marble temples towered above crowded neighborhoods. Merchants from Africa, Greece, Egypt, and the farthest reaches of the empire traded goods in its bustling markets. To many, Rome looked eternal, powerful, untouchable. But beneath its magnificent skyline lay a hidden danger. Much of the city was built from wood. Apartment buildings, shops, warehouses, and workshops stood tightly packed together. The streets were narrow. The summer had been dry. All it would take was a single spark. On the night of July 18th, AD 64, that spark came. Near the Circus Maximus, one of Rome's busiest public spaces, flames suddenly erupted. No one knows exactly how the fire began, but once it started, there was little anyone could do. Strong winds drove the flame through the crowded streets. Wooden buildings ignited one after another. Entire blocks disappeared within hours. Panic spread faster than the fire itself. Families abandoned their homes with only what they could carry. Others fled into the darkness, searching desperately for safety. Behind them, Rome was burning. By sunrise, the fire had become unstoppable. Carried by strong winds, it raced through the city's narrow streets, leaping from rooftop to rooftop. Entire neighborhoods disappeared beneath walls of flame. Every attempt to contain the blaze seemed hopeless. The city's own design had turned against it. Wooden apartment blocks burned like torches. Warehouses filled with oil, grain, and timber fed the flames even further. Soon, the fire was no longer destroying buildings. It was consuming Rome itself. Ancient writers describe streets choked with smoke. The cries of frightened families echoed through the darkness. Some searched desperately for loved ones. Others fled with nothing but the clothes they were wearing. Many climbed the surrounding hills, powerless, watching the greatest city of the ancient world disappear beneath an ocean of fire. Even massive stone temples offered little comfort. The heat was so intense that roofs collapsed, monuments cracked, and entire districts were swallowed by the inferno. For 6 relentless days, the flames advanced across the capital of the empire. And when they finally began to fade, Rome was almost unrecognizable. As the fire consumed Rome, one name would become forever linked to the disaster: Nero. But the truth is more complicated than the legend. When the fire broke out, Emperor Nero was not in Rome. He was staying in the coastal town of Antium, nearly 60 kilometers away. According to the Roman historian Tacitus, Nero returned to the capital as soon as he learned of the disaster. He organized relief efforts, opened public buildings and his own gardens to thousands left homeless, and arranged for food supplies to be brought into the city. Yet as the smoke continued to rise, so did the rumors. Many Romans refused to believe the fire had been an accident. Some claimed they had seen men preventing others from extinguishing the flames. Others whispered that the city had been deliberately destroyed to make way for Nero's grand vision of a new Rome. Ancient writers even tell the famous story of Nero playing music while the city burned. But modern historians remain deeply skeptical. There is no reliable evidence that this ever happened. Nearly 2,000 years later, the Great Fire of Rome remains one of history's greatest mysteries. Whether Nero was a savior, a tyrant, or simply a ruler blamed for a tragedy beyond his control may never be known. When the flames finally died, Rome had changed forever. Of the city's 14 districts, only 4 escaped the disaster untouched. 3 had been almost completely destroyed. The rest were left badly damaged. Thousands of people had lost their homes. Entire neighborhoods had vanished. But from the ashes, Rome began to rise again. Nero ordered the city to be rebuilt with wider streets, stronger building standards, and greater use of stone and brick to reduce the risk of future fires. Yet rebuilding the city did not silence the accusations. Searching for someone to blame, Nero accused a small religious group that few Romans understood: the Christians. What followed became one of the earliest recorded persecutions of Christians in Roman history. The Great Fire was over, but its consequences were only beginning.